Welcome to Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, and the finals of the Q-Tech Q's Players Championship, presented by the American Pool Players Association. Let's meet the players. Player number 1, currently ranked number 2 in the world, 4-time world champion, the Duchess of Doom, Allison Fisher! And her opponent, now residing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the number 1 ranked player in the world, the Irish invader, Karen Corr!
Welcome everybody to Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, and the atmosphere here is like that in a great heavyweight matchup. Allison Fisher on the left, ranked number 2 in the world. Karen Corr on the right, ranked number 1. It's the finals. It's what we expected to be 60 players at the beginning of the week. The 2 best in the world right now here in the finals. As they get ready to lag, Allison won the lag. Let's take a look at how she got to this point in this great Q-Tech Q's Players Championship. Started off strong in 9-1 against Cassie Anderson, 9-1 against Megan Smith, Lena Scherzik, Julie Kelly, former world champion, 9-3, Jeanette Lee, 9-6, and then Karen Corr in a whopping statement, 9-1. Undefeated through the tournament was Allison Fisher. Let's look at Karen Corr and see how she got to this point. A little tougher. Started off against the junior national champion Sarah Rousey, 9-1. Nestle O'Hare, Sarah Ellaby, Gerda Hofstetter, 9-8, and Helena Tornfeld, 9-8. Very tough matches. Losing, as we said, to Allison, and then coming back and beating a very game Helena Tornfeld, the number 4 player in the world, 7-4. And that tells you the story of this week up to this point. Anita, these matches are the way of getting into it quickly in the finals, and pretty much what happens in the rest of the tournament doesn't matter when it comes down to this one match.
Oh, this is going to be great. I'm just glad we have front row seats here. This is the dream matchup, like you said, the number 1 against number 2. And it's not just number 1 against number 2. It is Allison versus Karen, which means Allison had the reign for so long, and now Karen taking it over and just winning every tour style, dominating last year. It's going to be, it's the perfect matchup.
And I have a feeling it won't be the last time we will see it in this WPBA Tour season. Allison with nothing on the break, and let's see what happens here. That ball is
she's going to get lucky. Well, Allison failed to make a ball on the break, and we'll see how, as the match unfolds, that could become a pretty big thing, and who's going to make balls on the break. Karen here was able to get a shot just barely at the 2. As you can see there, very close for her to be what's called corner hooked and having a piece of the pocket blocking the cue ball from the 2. But she does have a shot at the 2. A little luck on her side.
And the 3's down at that end of the table too, so.
She just took a peek and see where exactly she wanted to be to get position for this 3 ball. So all she's concerned right now is to how do I easily get over on the 4.
Sneak by the 8 there, and it does.
She made a really good shot there. She got a little straighter than she wanted, but she should have no problems being able to draw the cue ball back or follow it over for the 4. Beautiful.
And as she gets ready to play the 4, we'll quickly give you the rules of the game. This is a race to 7 games for the title. The 30-second shot clock on each play with 1 extension per rack, and it will be cue ball fouls only. You are Karen. This is what you want.
It is, but look at this. She doesn't quite have, it's very close if she's going to have a clear shot at the 4. It looked like she did, but she wants to be really careful here. She obviously has an option where she could go rail first, try to make the 4 that way in case you can't make it, but it's not what you want to do here. She had a good chance at an out. And this early in the match, this could really set the tone for the rest of the match.
You will see that face on Karen Corr throughout this match. Very intense, very much involved in every second of this match. She is not one of the kind of players who drift away and it's not returned.
And it's amazing how she keeps her focus all the way through the tournament. And the rail first here. Very tough shot. And the absolute worst thing possible happened right there. Now she missed the 4, but she left a wide open shot for Allison. And a great opportunity for her not to just make a 4, but get over to the 5. As you can see, no balls are touching. It was fairly wide open.
Good look from behind at one of the classic strokes in the game. Well documented. numerous times Player of the Year, great champion, and as she gets over the 5, I'll take the shot and tell you about the great playing equipment these players are playing on.
Oh.
And I know it's early, I know it's
Wow.
the first rack, but that is huge. That is huge. And I guarantee you, Karen Corr didn't think she was going to be able to table this quickly.
Well, that's to me is the classic example of wanting to be nice, loose, and relaxed because you're in the finals and not wanting it too badly, so you're trying to be, and then making careless little mistakes. Early in the match, it happens a lot where you see players not wanting to bear down too much to where you get tight early on. You're trying to loosen up and just play a little faster, and she just made a careless mistake. And I'm surprised Karen went with this combination.
Interesting. The first game was very interesting.
Looks like Karen might be playing it safety here. She's trying to play the 6 on the side. She's definitely not going for the combination. Great shot. Karen's going for the jump cue.
I think she told Steve Tipton, the director, that she wanted an extension, but you're right, she's going back. She'll get her jump cue while she does. Tell you about the playing equipment. Beautiful Montebello table by Brunswick Billiards. Centennial balls also by Brunswick Billiards. Simonis 860 cloth. And the Sardo tight rack. Best equipment for the best players in the world.
It's a crucial hit here.
Key
Oh,
early.
look at that.
Key, and she hit the 8 first.
And the reason why she was a very jumpable shot. The problem was the cue ball was so far in on the table that she couldn't really get up as high as she needed to do to hit down on the cue ball the way she wanted to. And this has been a very interesting first rack,
For
hasn't
the
it?
first rack, just to have this much go on, both players are, it's already an emotional roller coaster. Up, down, thinking you gave the game away and then getting
Right.
back to the table.
And for Allison to miss that 5 ball, and there was no way she would ever think she had a chance back at the table again. And she's just going to say thank you very much. And we will see how much impact that one first game will have on the rest of this match.
And there it is. Allison Fisher, as she is used to doing, says, I'll take it if you can give it to me 1-0 now over Karen Corr here in the final.
That's the first game in a race to 7.
For the first time in a long time, Allison Fisher did not win a Classic Tour title in the year 2001. I wondered whether that would cause any kind of change in preparation or in play.
No, I had a tough year last year. I kept finishing well. I kept coming in second and third, and I beat Karen, in the first matches. But in the final stage, I wasn't finishing it off. So I think a lot of it was mental with me. And this year, I'm coming in with a fresh approach. I feel like I got stronger towards the end of the year. I won the Tournament of Champions and the World Championship. So I actually won 2 of the last 4 tournaments that were on the tour, although not Classic Tour stops. So the elusive titles. Hopefully, I will win one today.
The QTech Player Champion is brought to you by QTech Serious Q versus Player. By Brunswick Billiards since 1845, this has been by experts around the world. And by the American Pool Players Association, the world's largest pool. There's that look I talked about earlier. Karen Corr has worn that look the first couple of racks, finds herself down by 2. nothing on her side against Allison Fisher, currently ranked number 2 and in the process of trying to regain the number 1 ranking in the world, taking away from Karen Corr. Nothing on the board before the two-out for Allison. It's a ball here.
Maybe 8 ball on the break there, but look, she was very unfortunate. You can see she was looking at the 1 ball was frozen. The 1 and the 3 are tied up over here. 4 and the 9 tied up in this part of the table, so there's a lot of work to do in this rack. You have to be forced to play it safe here. It's not an easy save. It looks like the only thing she can do is either push out or keep the 1 ball very thin. Yeah, she was going to have to push out. Well,
Makes the 5 while she's at it.
Less work. Let's see what Karen's going to do here. Very touchy shot.
Steve checking to see if that ball's frozen against the rail.
That's right. And the only 2 options I can see here would be to either roll the cue ball up onto the 1, which is a very tough shot when the cue ball's that far from it. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Or trying to hit it very thin, leave the 1 ball somewhere in this vicinity, hopefully behind the 3, but even if you leave it there and send the cue ball straight across into here.
Either way, it's going to be a delicate shot for Allison. Karen gave it back to her. It's the cat and mouse game, the push out, which is it's one of the more interesting parts of the game.
It is as important as your safety or any other shot. Well, what happened here was she did go ahead and play the cue ball straight onto the 1. And hit absolutely perfect shot. Karen again is faced with a very, very tough save. Let's see this. And this, she could send the cue ball down to the other side of the table. It's very risky because if she does miss it, she could leave it wide open.
Look at this play.
Well, she did leave it wide open. But again, if you can leave the cue ball at one end of the table and the object ball at the other, especially having the 2 ball be down in this area, well, you've come up with a good safety because this is a very delicate and difficult shot for Allison. She's going to make this come 1 rail all the way down by this past the side. She needs to be not in the side. Good shot.
And right now, it's looking to me like Allison has the better of this match. It's only 2-0 in a race to 7, but she is looking like the confident one.
Definitely, it seems like Karen isn't doing a lot of fighting back at this point.
I think it's an incredibly important statement early in the tournament. Allison and Karen met. Allison giving us another to come back against Karen the first time they meet, 9-1. That says something about the kind of competitor that Allison is. It's up to Karen now to respond.
Absolutely. And this is very important here if this 4 ball passes or not. If it won't pass in the corner pocket, then it's a pretty tricky out. You may be able to play it on the side. On the other side, as you can see there, it may pass. You can make a legal shot on the 4 ball on the side past the 9 ball. But she would much rather have an opportunity to play this in the corner pocket.
Took a great deal of time looking at that 4 ball. We find out fairly quickly. 3 goes. Cue ball drifts down.
And here's where playing snooker, I'm sorry, here's where playing snooker really comes in handy too, because the pockets in snooker are so much smaller. They're just a hair larger than the ball itself. So the fact that she only has a very, very small part of this pocket to play the 4 ball in.
Doesn't scare her as much as it might scare other people.
Still scares her, but not as much as most pool players.
Is that for a delicate touch?
Oh, beautiful.
5 went on the push out, you'll remember earlier. Maybe Allison had a premonition that she wouldn't be wanting to deal with that one at all. Stay down at this end of the table. There's the 6, 7's there, and the 9's there. 8 down on the break. This would be for a 3-0 lead for Allison Fisher. And big time lead in the final. 8-7.
This is a great solid out. I mean, that's going to be a good chip out.
she is not giving any room right now for Karen Corr to breathe. What she did for so long against so many players. And she is saying, okay, it's the finals. This is 2002. I am the Duchess of Boone. 3-game lead. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Mitch Lawrence now joined in the booth by Gerda Hofstetter, along with Ava Lawrence, who is here. I guarantee you she'll be back in a moment. Gerda, great to have you up here. Fabulous tournament for you. You finished fourth, and a really nice run. I know you're getting a feel for what this year is going to be about. Great competition out.
Yeah, I feel like I had a really good start to this year. I've been missing, I've missed being on TV, but I've practiced hard in our off, the 3 months off, and it's been only one match on TV so far, but
It's been fun.
it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to be here to watch Alison and Karen. I love this rivalry. They're carrying it on from last year, and it seems like Alison has got off to a good start.
And there goes that ball in the break. She got one ball in the break, and once she gets started, she could essentially, just go to the both played Karen and Alison enough times so she could keep controlling this match to the end. Even if she doesn't run out, just her safety play is so strong.
Right. It seems like that's what she's going to have to rely on, because her break is not really working that well. She does make balls on the break, but the balls don't spread very well.
Right.
So there's lots of safeties involved. But both of them, the snooker players,
Oh, absolutely.
they have both a great safety game, and they're kicking.
The kick saves is what's so strong. We've been talking about that, about kicking at the ball, and you're not just making contact and hoping to get lucky and get a snooker or making a ball, but the way they're playing their kicks, it's very interesting to watch.
Right. I think Alison's just going to thin the two ball on the right hand side and put both balls on either side of the table.
And I know that you know a lot about that. Probably some of the greatest battles that I've seen on the table.
But I've never seen a rivalry like this. I mean, this is awesome. It's been going over 2 years now, I guess.
Well,
First Karen came over, she was a great player, but Alison was still, she had more experience in 9-ball, and she was dominating Karen, and then Karen put in a lot of time practicing. She's been playing with a lot of great players. She's been learning a lot, and last year Karen's been dominating. But what's so funny is that they switch back and forth. Alison seems like she wins on the winner's side, and then Karen comes back from the loser's side and beats Alison in this final. But I know Alison's hoping to get off to a different start this year.
I think that's why this is important. This has been such a turn. She wouldn't want to continue what happened in 2001.
Yeah, the emotions in this match must be incredible.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
Right
I can't
from the get-go, and that
even
proved in
imagine.
the first rack. I mean, there was some unforced errors right away from both players.
Very uncharacteristic misses they had, but I guess they're getting settled in.
Well, Alison, for one, looks very settled in. She looks like she's just fine.
She's on a mission.
Very touchy safe she's going to have here. Kept this too long.
Yeah, she's going off. She's going to try to send the the cue ball off the 2 on the rail behind the 4 ball. It's a touchy shot.
Very difficult.
Tough to control the speed, and she hit it a little too hard. Unfortunately, the 2 ended up over the carpet also.
And now we will find out what Karen Corr wants to do. This is tough, and the 3 and the 9 are tied up over there.
Exactly.
So after the 2.
As you can see here, I don't think the 3 ball can pass in either one of the corner pockets, and can't be made in the side, so she's going to have to either break them open or make the 2 and then play it safely after
I
that.
think she has a nice angle to run into the 9 and 3. She must be careful with the speed, though. If she hits a little too hard, the 3 is going to go.
Wow.
Oh, she went past it. I don't know if she meant to do that, if she meant to run into them. Maybe. No, the 3 does not go in the corner. She's going to play safety
She's
now.
looking right now, I think, too, at the possibility of a billiard, but she's a little bit too far over. Looks looks like it could be possible, but you would have to hit so little of the 3 ball with a lot of reverse spin to be able to keep the 9 to go towards the pocket.
Right.
You know, she
Again.
takes a look at this. I'm reminded, sitting next to the two of you, of the incredible international nature of this
Yeah,
game.
this is pretty funny.
Because, well, I'm thinking that Ava's from Sweden originally, came over here. You grew up in Austria, lived in
Right.
Sweden for a while. Came over here. We've got an all-British Isles final.
Right.
Karen from Ireland and Allison from England.
Yeah,
I
rest
think I'm
assured.
the only American one here.
A
Well-
few people from the crowd are Americans too, I
Right.
know.
We all love it over here. You know what? At this point, Karen being down 3-0, I think she's gonna take a chance and go for that Karen. Well, normally I think she would find the safety, but the
Right.
situation being,
But see, to me, it's the other way around. When you're down this much, you should
oh,
be
she
playing
does
a
go for
safety.
the safety.
Play the smart play.
When you're down,
When you're down, unless you're down, hopeless you're down. Maybe 60-0, 61. Go ahead and go a little crazy,
but the
See,
way she left it,
Karen's face there just said it all. She pretty much would love to, I
She
think,
would've
been
loved
a
to
little
try.
more optimistic. I know this is an interesting part of your game. It's just knowing you as long as I do. I know you are a hitter. You like
Right.
getting up there and going for it.
Right.
And stuff. And sometimes always tough gut check.
yeah, absolutely. Although I've learned my lessons the hard way, right? I was way too aggressive for a very long time, and I have built safeties into my game now, and I see the benefits. You know, it does pay off to play smart, definitely. And just in the last year, I've learned an incredible amount in the defensive part of the game, and I feel like I'm a much more complete player now, and I do take advantage of safeties. But when it's, you know, either way, I go for the shot. If there's a 50-50 chance of making the shot or getting the safety, I go for the shot.
Oh boy, Karen just got in big trouble here. She
Uh-oh.
was in a difficult situation as it was. You know, she's
How?
very handy with the bridge. It was a tough shot. You had to try to draw it up, and it was very tough to get on the 4 ball because she was straight in. And now she did the worst thing possible, which is snipping herself behind the 5.
That is very unusual from Karen.
This is a tough kick, too. Even if you can hit it, it's very almost impossible to judge where.
And I was going to say very, very big right now. Because with Allison at 3-0, ball in hand.
Right.
Taking a chance here.
That was rather huge.
Big.
And yeah. And Allison knows what's going on. She knows that Karen is not her usual self right now, and I think she's gonna bear down really,
Jump on
really
it.
hard to take advantage of the situation here. Balls are very nicely spread. She's got a real nice run out here. She's just gonna bear down, make sure to get to 4-0. Just gonna float out a little bit heavy.
She decided to play it.
Oh wow.
6-12. I think she lost that a little bit. She
Yeah.
had a little hit it in the cue ball a little bit higher than she had intended to. And I think she was trying to go down to play the 6 ball on the side. But
I
it came
know.
way too far.
That's what I expected her to do.
That's what makes the game so
I know.
interesting. The fact that there are 6 pockets. You know, it's exciting because of it, and it's also interesting.
No way. This is unbelievable. See, this is incredible. For everybody who's out there, you guys watching this thinking this looks easy, try to be out there. See, even the number 1 and 2
true.
players do it. This is
And
This
also
is
to
such-
everybody out there that have followed someone like Allison's career for so many
I
years
know.
on television know how uncharacteristic it is for her
right.
to miss the shot she just missed on the 6. And that also proves just what kind of respect these 2 players have
For
for
each other, exactly.
And maybe a little bit of fear mixed in with the respect. And
Right.
that's what
Well, it's interesting. We always talk about this too. It wasn't really the shot on the 6. It was getting a little bit of position on the 5 and letting the ball get away a little bit. Karen.
Right. See,
And making me happy.
the 6 ball Elson just missed. It wasn't that it was a hard shot. It was really that she was upset with the position she got. That's why she missed it. She didn't regroup. And that's why she missed it. But Karen,
Allison was unfortunate because she did miss the 6, but she left Karen with a very difficult long bank shot, and she almost made it. But again, Allison was looking to take advantage of an opportunity more or less handed to her after she made an early mistake, like she did in the first game.
No, I don't think Allison's going to let this one get away. This will be for 4 laps in a row and a lead. As we watch her girder, we want to thank you for stopping by, one of the really bright stars in the world of nine ball.
Thanks for having me.
Getting a look at something that has absolutely become a household word, the Sardo tight rack. One press down, perfect rack every time. A look down the beautiful Montebello table by Brunswick Billiards since 1845. Hard to believe they haven't been around that long. The game has been around so much longer than that. Not nine ball, that started in the 1920s. The billiards have been around hundreds of years. Fanatics supporters all over the world. There's a large number of Fanatic supporters in this very room. Mitch Lawrence and Ava Lawrence, along with Allison Fisher and Karen Corr. And right now it is all Allison Fisher in the finals of the Kentucky Players Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association.
And Allison keeps dominating here. Karen has had a few opportunities to get back into this, but having a hard time. As you can see here, Allison made 2 balls in the break. With the 6 and the 9 was blocking a path to the 2. And watch this. Instead of pushing out, kicking at it, trying to kick safe, Allison is going to go ahead and go the offensive shot, banking the cue ball all the way down to this end and trying to make 2-7 combination. How offensive is that?
Very. Obviously, I don't know.
Look at this. She got it. She got it. The way she was, you have to judge that, the speed, everything. That was just a great shot.
Wow.
And I think that message to Karen was loud and clear. She said, no, you're acting like you don't really want it. Well, I do.
And it's also such a function of confidence in the table. When you believe you can make shots and make something happen. Karen is really she's just off balance and off center and not really the confident Karen Taylor we've been
Right.
watching.
And it happens. It happens to everyone, including players like Allison and Karen, where you're so used to never ever seeing Karen make a mistake.
You know what? This is what happens. Allison got to a point, and you know this also. You've been a #1 player as we watch her break that up.
Great. That was a good shot. Let's see if she'll be able to make this 4 ball.
You are a #1 player. You know what it's like when you get to a certain point. Allison has had it as a #1 ranked player. Karen now has it. You have it. The expectation that because you're #1, you're going to make every ball out there. You're going to make every shot out there. And when you don't, people are amazed.
That's true. And we spoke of this earlier. It's much easier to get to #1 than to keep #1. Absolutely perfect. He just needs to drift up anywhere in here for the 6th ball.
And I'll tell you what, the pockets on this Montebello table will make you play. They will make you pay if you don't hit the ball where it's supposed to go. And that 4 almost came out, but didn't. And instead, Allison Fisher is looking at her 5th consecutive rack against the #1 ranked player in the world. In a race to 7. A little bit of shot practice here at Valley Forge right now by Allison Fisher. But I think by Karen Corr. Great and Allison Fisher's 5 racks in a row. And that is what she leads Karen Corr. Now let's take a look at the other top finishers brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. On this page, you'll see the name of the 2000 WPA World Champion, Rachel Kelly. And on this page, a couple of names you may not have seen before. One of them, a great Corr veteran all the way from Canada, Marie Seal, and Kim Shaw, all the way from England, another in a long time, but rapidly becoming a long time, great now playing full-time. Last year in 2001, as Karen Corr defended her title from 2000, she was down 4-1 to Jennifer Chen, won 6 games in a row to come back and win the title for a second time. I think she has a little bit tougher challenge right now, the way Allison Fisher is playing at 5-0 against Karen Corr and with the break. Mitch Lawrence and Ava Lawrence, the finals. The QTech-Q's Players Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association. So far, it's been all Allison Fisher. She will have a shot on the one road.
Well, she's figured out the break. She made a 4-ball on the break, and she does have an open shot. 1 ball, she's going to cut that in here, and she needs to just come back anywhere in this area for the 2 in the corner pocket. A thin, tough cut. It's one of those that you really have to stand still on. You can't move the muscle. You just need to have your arms and forward motion. They're very thin. And you can just kind of draw a match here and for Allison, and she just stands exactly on that line. She's just beautiful to watch when she's playing, and she's on and right.
Boy, I would so love to know what's going on in both of these minds out there right now. It's going to be 2 very different things. Just so much history between these two. Back and forth over the years.
Allison's going to take her time here. She's really concerned with making sure that she gets right on the 5-8, but also seeing where's the 7. You know, there's a certain pocket block. She just wants to make sure that she's familiar with the whole table before she goes and starts her run.
Took her extension there. That's it for this game. She has not come close to meeting it. There's enough time every rack that she can take.
And Allison, as you can see, the 3-ball will pass by the 8-ball in here, and she's going to see where she needs to be. It looks like the 5 will not pass by the 8. She's going to have to shoot a combination. And obviously, the combination is very makeable. However, the most important thing is obviously you want to make the 8, but to get position. So she wants to make sure to clip the 5 thin enough to make the 8, and then really pay attention to where the 5 is going.
Allison is in a place right now that we have seen her in so many times in the past, and that we've seen Karen in, and a lot of other players when they're in a zone and playing really well, is that every time she gets over a shot, you think she's going to make it and do whatever she has to do. So that 5 came out.
Yeah, it's not what you want to do. That second hit, she didn't want. She would have had a great shot at the 5 if it wasn't for the double
But
hit.
you know what I mean? It seems like
Yes.
that feeling of she is going to make it.
Well, you can see after the first rack, you can just look in her eyes and you can see that Allison feels like she's in control. Even though she doesn't have a good open shot here. She is going to the bank. I think more than anything, she wanted to play the safety. Looked like she was going to the bank, but looking where the 2-ball is down in the rail, I think she's happier with the 5-ball not going in.
Karen standing at the table with her hand up going, okay, so I have a shot, but
She hasn't had an open shot for a while.
the Irish invader, originally from Ballymoney in Northern Ireland, living now in Feasterville outside of Philadelphia, which is where we all find ourselves here in Valley Forge. A lot of spectators, friends from this area watch Karen take to the Philadelphia area, Ava, playing at Pete Fusco's.
She just loves it
really
here.
likes it.
And she really does, and people around, you know, I've been traveling around this area for a while, and everywhere I go, and they mention Karen Corr and how well-liked she is in this area. She's really just down to earth and as sweet as can be, and a very, very funny person. It's unfortunately you can't really see that when you're so focused playing the matches, but she's great. Well, Karen decided that making that 5 was not going to be the smartest thing because position for the 6 was almost impossible, so she went ahead and went to safety.
It's so tough to do when you're down 5-0.
It is.
You have to come up and, okay, I'll play a safety. And not an easy safety at that.
And you can see on her facial expression, she just said, well, I'm just doing what was there. There was not much that I can do. And as it turned out, she's left an open shot for Allison. What she needs to do is make this 5. Position on the 6 is pretty much built in. Oh, look at this shot. Nice touch. Long shot on the 6, but I think she'll take it. What do you think?
Oh, I think so. She'll have position on the 7, which does go by the 9, I believe.
It does go by, no problem. And although she's going to be on the rail here a little bit, it's okay because all she needs to do is stop it right there. Oh, look at that. Not only did she stop it and take a tackle, but she put an incredible stroke on it, just blew it back far enough to not have a good shot on the 7, but a perfect shot. The old Allison style of where everybody is so used to.
I'll tell you what, old style Allison is what we're seeing right now. 6 consecutive racks in the finals. If you like playing ball, unless you're playing the floor at this point, you got to love watching what Allison Fisher is doing. Get a look at Steve Tipton placing his beautiful Centennial balls into the rack. We're going to thank Brunswick Billiards for their Centennial balls. It's a quiet room here in Valley Forge. I think there is definitely a little bit of a, well, I can't quite believe what we're seeing. Everybody expected this to be a phenomenally tough, hard shot, as I said in the opening. And instead what we've gotten is vintage Allison Fisher. The Duchess of Doom has lowered it on Karen Corr so far. 6 racks in a row, and in a race to 7. That is big time. But Karen Corr, I believe, will have a chance at the table.
One last chance to make something happen. And Karen is saying, can't I please just have an easy shot, just one? And as you can see, the 1 ball being by the corner pocket here is very amicable, but with the 2 ball being down at this side of the table, it's a very tough shot. Could try to go around high right English and whip all the way around the table, but it's a very, very tough shot. Especially when you're down 6-0.
Well, now she's really got nothing to
Look
lose.
at that, look
she's
at that.
just going to fire. There you go.
She really
There you go.
Especially since she's living in this area and so many people are familiar with Karen. She's definitely a hometown crowd and they haven't had too much to cheer about. Allison has seemed to that.
There's so much anticipation about this match. Come out and it happens. This is sport. It happens in all different kinds of. Yeah. She's trying to break that up.
Yeah, she was trying to get the 2 ball into it, but it was kind of easy to begin with because even if she would have hit the 7, she probably wouldn't have had a shot at the 3 ball. So under normal circumstances, she may have even looked at playing a safety on the 2 there with the 3 being where it is, but she's just trying to do something right now, make something happen. And again, she's going to have to play a safety, being down 6 games.
It's got to be brutal. You know you have to do it. But it's kind of every part of you is itching to just shoot.
Well, I guess all Karen can do is say to herself, it's not over till it's over, and just keep hanging in there, and you never know. She wins 1, 2, 3 games, 6 games to 3. It's a wide open match, so she's just trying to keep her composure and do the right thing on the table.
10. Extension.
Allison takes her extension. While she does, we want to thank a couple of big-time supporters of this great event. QTech Qs are our title sponsor, and the American Pool Players Association, our presenting sponsor. The APA has had a lot of volunteers all week at this event. They've been helping out. We owe all of them a lot of thanks.
See here, long, tough kick shot at the 3. Steve Tiffins there, make sure it's a good hit, which it was not. 5-ball first. And again, Karen knows now that every chance at a run out is her last chance. She better make sure
Every
she
ball.
gets out. The team was pretty open. There's nothing major here. There's a couple of touchy position shots, but there's nothing major she has to break up or worry about.
You know, we've talked about this before, and a number of players, we kind of just hang around and we talk about the years that people have had, whether it's Allison, whether it's Karen, whether it's you, whether it's Gerda, Elena, all the good players. Getting to number 1 is big time hungry. Everybody wants it, you're willing to work for it, and everything else. And then you get it, and you return it, and all of a sudden it's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
And this is early on now, Karen Corr is finding out over here that it is a different year. And there are going to be some changes.
Absolutely. And it's not just, it's true. You know, we were speaking of some of the other players in the tournament earlier, like Lena and a lot of the other top players. Everyone else is saying, okay, Karen, enough. It's not just Allison saying, I want my reign back. And there's a whole, there's, 62 other players out there, or even more, and if you include all the tournaments, players that are wanting to help Allison make Karen's reign end. So it's going to be an interesting year.
Isn't it interesting how so many people are pulling against Allison when she was number 1 for so long? Like, okay, it's your time.
Enough,
now they're all pulling for her
Yeah.
because Karen's number 1.
Everybody pulls for the underdog. It's pretty much true for any sport, I believe.
Karen definitely wants to just get this game over with, get to the table, break, and see if she can do it. What she has to do now is just concentrate one ball, one game at a time.
And the thing about Karen, at least she doesn't have to feel like she needs to prove anything to anybody anymore. She may win, she may lose, but she has to prove nothing to anybody. And she's having a hard time focusing now. I'm sure it's because she's down by so much. She's got to really, really left herself a tough shot on this 9. She wanted to draw back and just have an easy straight-in shot on a 9-ball. Instead, she's faced with this tough, long cut down the table. And that's just focus. Oh,
Look at
she
that.
did.
Inside, she's going, excuse me, I'm the only player in the world that can make that shot. I am not out of this yet. She's got 5 games to go to tie.
The Q10 Players Championship is brought to you by Q10 Serious Things for Serious Players by Brunswick Milliard. Since 1845, and by WCDA. That's all. Karen Corr table, but every game out at the bottom.
Just got his first game. She'll have the break. Again, she'll do everything she can to just get one ball at a time. Then she needs to hit. He almost went in the corner, but did not. Allison Fisher will be standing on the table.
Well, obviously, when you're down 6 games to 1, it is crucial that you make a ball on the break to be able to keep control of the table. Allison doesn't have a shot at the one ball being down here, two ball over here. And that forced to play a safety, but what it means is that she's going to have control. If she comes up with a good save, she has control of the table. And it's very important to play and keep that. Oh, what a shot.
I think it's very, very important as in this whole match, Allison not to let up there. You know, we talked about it earlier, make the statement
Right.
where she is at
In
this particular
general,
point
in
in time.
general, when Allison, she would just never let up. And that's the first time I think ever that I've seen her or jump off that mat. So what I was saying is, Allison is not going to do that to me. It's going to make a lot of advances by big numbers. And except one, because she knew that was the air. It doesn't matter, she plays the same game. She's down, she's up, and it doesn't really matter.
Well, the run of this tournament that Allison has had undefeated in her bracket in the 6 matches prior to this one, most games she got 6 and raced to 9. The other players. And that's what you're talking about. This was a really all of them on one. Actually, 2.
It's a good shot here. Right between the 9 and the 4. And I don't like Karen's position right now. Not considering how just to run anybody's help. But now I think her stroke is just so perfect and really well. Nobody plays better for the cash.
There has been a bit of a break to the players and interesting, if you take a look at Karen, she's sitting there thinking, okay, I've still got work to do. I'm number 1, but I definitely got work to do. She told me that over the break, she just played hard. She kept feeling like she needed to keep practicing. Any time off, she was like being ready to play while I was doing that. So she is still very driven. That's all the other things.
Well, it's amazing that she's right at the height of her ability right now. She's right at her career. She set out to pick over number 1. She did so, and she didn't just have the passion and the love for the game, but she really has that extra drive it takes to, shoot herself all the way up to the top. They're winning a tournament is very difficult, but really it's very difficult. But Allison's going to play here.
That's a great rivalry with both of them back. See what happens now.
Fortunately for all pool fans out there, this rivalry goes over quite some time to come. So,
But I think it's interesting. A statement by Karen at the time. log on to ESPN.com.